Welcome to the second of my painting miniatures tutorial, where I try to help people get over their fear of painting miniatures by showing them how easy all of this really is. In my previous video, I worked on a plastic model and gave details on the tools you need and how to use them. I later gave that model a coat of primer while describing the process and how it needs to be done correctly. In this video, I'm going to talk about the painting process while also demonstrating why it's not that hard. Just a heads up, this is not going to be a step-by-step painting tutorial where I show you how to paint miniatures. There are more than enough tutorial videos of that sort online. Instead, I'm going to exaggerate some mistakes, proving that there is nothing to fear. Everything can be fixed as long as you stick to the golden rule: thin your paints. Now I'm going to do something terrible. I'm going to slap on some black paint, imitating potential mistakes others might make. This will help me prove that you should not be afraid of making mistakes because they can be fixed. Black paint is actually the hardest to cover up, so I thought it would be perfect for this video. And just in case you're not convinced that this miniature is potentially ruined by the black paint, let's slap on even more paint. Chances are that you are never going to be making this much of a mess with your miniature. So, if I prove to you that something this bad is still considered okay, then maybe you won't be afraid of making mistakes yourself. After I let this mess dry, I will show you how easy everything was to fix, with a picture after each layer of paint. Going with the Ultramarine's color scheme, I started covering the model in Macragge Blue. After a first thin layer of blue paint, the miniature looks like crap, but this is fine, have some faith. After the second layer of blue paint, it still looks like crap, but at least we're going somewhere. With the third layer on, you can start to see how things are getting a little better. Things are almost perfect after the fourth layer of blue paint. This is actually a good place to stop, as there are other colors that we need to apply to this model. Without even trying to avoid painting over the blue armor that I had been working on for all this time, I applied a layer of silver paint. Next, I paint in all the parts that need to be black. I mess up even more of that blue armor I was trying to fix. I can afford to be sloppy because I trust in the process and I thin my paints. At this stage, I added most of the other colors that needed to be in there. The blue armor is still in a bit of a bad state though. Finally, after all of the other colors were in, I could go back to finishing the blue armor. I then proceeded to give most of the miniature a wash before adding in the final details and doing any of the edge highlights. Alright lads, so this is the final version of my miniature. It is basically finished. It still needs the water transfers on the shoulder armor, but that's not something I'm going to do for this video. And yeah, this is it. With everything that I've done to him, he still looks fine, and when he's on a tabletop, he's gonna look perfect. Now, I keep my miniatures a little overwashed, that's why he looks a little dirty. That's the look I like and always go for. You don't have to copy that. And of course, I highlight my edges. You should just see thin lines on the very edge of each piece of armor. I don't overdo the edge highlights. I never highlight the shoulders because there's nothing to highlight there. I do the rivets though. These tiny little dots everywhere. I always highlight those, and I do highlight my black leather with grey outlines as well. Even the weapons, which this time I painted my weapons blue. Sometimes I'll paint them black. I don't paint them like on the box set. So yeah, with everything I've done to try and mess up this miniature as much as possible, he still came out pretty damn fine. I mean, on the tabletop, he's gonna look perfect. So, if I can intentionally mess up a guy and have him come out this good, it's fine if you accidentally mess him up, because he can still come out alright. So nothing to worry about. Thanks for watching. I really hope this video helped you in some way. If you have any questions, you can find me on Twitch or in my Discord server. I'm always happy to help. I will post a video summary and more details in the description below. See you around.